There was a lot of excitement for Sunday. It's been 2 years since we've had a Christmas parade. There was a sense of energy and a sense of returning to normalcy. When the bands come through, the music really penetrates and goes through, and that went on until, the South High School band was out here. I could hear them playing, and then all of a sudden there was like this whole big roar of the crowd kind of thing. One of the bass drummers was the first one to hit. When I looked from my chair, I then was able to see the vehicle that was passing through, and then I looked and it went around a float that was a little bit further down, and as I stood up I could see that there were people laying in the street. It was shortly thereafter that people heard the gunshots down on the other end. Then that's when we really panicked, and I was at the front door by that time. And, I opened the door and said, "You can come on in here, come on in here."
This is the scene after some guy just came through at about 70 miles an hour and hit about 50 people. Literally happened right in front of me. I literally watched 12 children get hit by a car going 50 miles an hour. I just actually watched the video today for the first time from my security camera right there. It's literally about to happen. My friend ran out the door, and then I jumped up and ran out the door. And I just ran out this door, and it was absolute chaos. There were hundreds of people running up the street. There was children laying in the street who were hit by the car. People were pushing their children under record racks to try to protect them as much as they could. So people were just rushing in, and I just kept pulling people in. I would literally grab people by the jacket as they ran by, and I just get inside, get inside, get inside. This stroller got hit by the car, and I'm not sure what happened. I did a video that night, and I just wanted to see the end of this whole thing and just show people how terrible this type of thing is, and you never think you're going to be involved in a situation like that, and then all of a sudden I was thrown into one and it didn't even hit me, or I realized the severity of it until I was actually home. The disregard for life is just getting too much in this country. It's at some point we all have to come together and get to an acceptable median of what is okay and what is not, and go from there. I don't know what the answers are.
Well, I think it's going to take a while. I think it's not days, it's not weeks. I think it's probably months. How do we help people move from this into some sense of normalcy, some sense of saying, it's okay, and that it's okay to talk about things? If the community helps people to continue to talk about this, the healing will happen faster.
Everybody's going to deal with this differently, and everybody is going to have different kinds of trauma. The 60 people that we had in here were scared for their life. We didn't know what was going on. There's just not a lot you can do. We just had the lady come in and thank me for allowing her and her family to come in and get some safety and things like that. But all we can do is just keep going. That's it. Just keep going.